Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2810. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and my cock. And you are in the men's room. On tap today, the random question is back. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories, picnics, and husbands. The return of Ask the Men's Room. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, men's room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack. Drinking too drunk.
All right, here we go. Florida man arrested after striking boyfriend with singing big mouth Billy Bass. Delta gives a passenger an apple to eat, and TSA slaps a $500 ticket on her ass. Honda says 62,000 ticking time bombs are still on the road. Man has so many encounters with scary animals, your head will explode. And a drunk driver crashes into another drunk driver in Indiana. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, let's go to Hawaii, where a guy was attacked by a tiger shark while he's out boogie boarding. Now, the shark, they say, was 6 to 8 feet long. It was a tiger shark. This guy, he managed to survive after fighting it off, and some people say he's lucky. They said the same thing about this guy a few months ago when he was attacked by a bear. He was just trying to camp. A bear pops up, grabs him by the neck, drags him 12 feet. And people said he was lucky. And then they also said he was lucky a few years ago when a faded pygmy snake, anyone familiar with the faded pygmy snake?
No.
All you need to know is it's poisonous. But in this case, he got what they call the dry bite. So once again, he was lucky. So this guy has been attacked by a shark, dragged by a bear, bitten by a poisonous snake. You would have to think at this point in his life, and he's only 20 years old, at this point in his life, he's probably used to it. Kind of the way Taylor Swift should be used to stalkers. Now, 3 Swift stalkers have been busted in the last few weeks. One guy broke into her New York City home and took a nap in her bed in her place in New York City. On the other side of the country, a different guy was found outside of her Beverly Hills home. He had masks, gloves, a knife, a rope, ammunition, and prescription drugs in his car. And then the guy who just shot up a Tennessee Waffle House, he told police that Taylor Swift was stalking him. I don't know what it is with her, but at this point, she's just got to be used to the fact they're stalkers. This other guy has to be used to the fact that animals attack him all the time. But these are stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question. Here's how it works. We ask you a question to complete random, and after you answer said question, we'll share with you the news story that inspired the question.
Be a part of the big show on a random question. Call 844-999-HOLA. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, the show is and away we go. Welcome to show number 2810. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. The return of your guess is as good as mine, and today the categories will be husbands and what women believe to be some of the things that they appreciate about their husbands. There's, believe it or not, you might be married, and you might be shocked to find out that your wife actually appreciates some of the things about you. We don't personally, but they've come up with 10 of them, and that is one of the categories you could pick. And you know what today is? It is National What Day?
Of something.
It's National What Day?
Oh, Picnic Day, right?
It is National Picnic Day. So in honor of that, we have some foods that are very popular at picnics. So that's the categories coming up with Your Guess is as Good as Mine. Also, the return of Ask the Men's Room, another round of Profile. This is coming up, and we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. And today is the day we do our random question. Let's get this thing going on. 844-999. Hola.
Random.
Hello, Jared. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello?
Hello.
Hola.
Can you hear me? Hola.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here, Jared. All right, Jared, you seem like you might be kind of an idiot. Let's go with this question. What's the dumbest thing you've done to get out of work or school or just get out of anything, basically?
Oh, man. Lots of things.
What's your most memorable? What's the biggest scam you pulled off?
Biggest scam that I pulled off.
I mean, as far as getting out of work. I mean, there's different reasons people give.
I intentionally got poison oak.
Poison oak? All
Yeah.
right.
That's
What was your job? Was this for job or school?
No, it was for a part-time job that I had while I was in school. I hated it. I was working at Lowe's, just doing the regular customer service associate thing, and I absolutely hated it because I hate most people.
Okay,
And,
I can see how that's a problem. So you
Right,
took a
and I
job in
know-
customer service, known to hate people, and you did not want to go in, so you intentionally gave yourself poison oak.
Yeah, while I was camping, and then took a picture of it and sent it to my HR manager and everything. It was like, oh, it hurts so bad, blah blah blah. And they're like, yeah, stay home.
Poison oak does hurt.
I mean, how bad was it? How bad was your reaction?
It wasn't that bad. I just got it on a little spot on my leg on purpose, and then I kind of isolated it. But I said it was everywhere. But I just sent a picture of the side of my calf.
Okay.
Do you, Jared? Do you work with people now? Do you have a better outlook toward the human race, or you still don't like people that much?
No, my outlook on the human race is actually even worse than it was at the time when I did that.
Okay,
I hate
all right.
people even more now.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Fortunately, I have a really good job that I don't have to interact with anyone.
All right.
What do you
There
do?
you
What do you do? I'm guessing you just work by yourself.
I'd rather not say what I do,
Okay.
but
Hitman.
my interaction with people is minimal, and it pays really well.
Hitman. That was a hitman.
You're a dog walker.
Hey, is your name Jeff? Yeah, my name's Jeff. Right? Minimal interaction, it pays well.
yeah.
That's what I'm convinced
Okay.
of. Jared the Hitman.
Reason we asked what's the dumbest thing you've done to get out of work, this is a doozy. A 22-year-old was arrested for intentionally hitting two people with his car Friday night in Bothell. He said he did it to change his life and to get out of a job that he hated, according to court documents.
Why wouldn't you just quit your job? Because, one, that will change your life, and you're not working then. It does both of those things.
Here's the quote. I had to change something in my life, so I hit three people with my car. The intent wasn't to kill, but just to injure them. Court documents say he hit two women. He aimed his car at a third pedestrian who managed somehow to get out of the way. One of the women was seriously hurt and was taken to the hospital. The other woman was treated at the scene. The man who was arrested told a police officer that he was on his way to work when he saw a man and woman crossing on Main Street. He sped up from 20 to 35 to 40 to hit the woman, according to court documents. He told a police officer that the woman saw him coming and jumped up on the hood of the car. She was the most seriously injured of the two women. Then the man saw a second woman crossing a way down, so he swerved to hit her too. Woman was bruised but didn't need to go to the hospital, according to the court. Then a man was in the path of the car. He got out of the way somehow. The 22-year-old man did not seem to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. According to the court documents, he was completely calm, did not seem confused, was not excited, nervous, or scared.
He's a legit idiot.
The officer
he's
said
legitimately stupid.
that the man spoke nonchalantly about the incident. So he worked at a school, believe it or not, but he said he hated his job. He said he was unhappy with his life and suffered from insomnia. And he said he had not slept for 3 days.
So?
As he was driving to work, he said he wanted to do anything to get out of work. He seemed almost relieved that he was going to jail, according to the officer. He told the officer he was looking forward to spending a few years in a room.
Well, good news then, man.
Yeah, he's going to get that.
Jesus, what's your worst job that you've had? The worst job you've had, where you finally just went in. And look, man, we've all been there, where you hate your work. But if you need to change your life, quit your job, because once you quit your job, your life changes. 2 birds, 1 stone, no one else is hurt, right?
I guess probably Department of Human Services when I worked there.
Because you hate people?
No,
what did you do? Like, what was your job?
I was a file clerk.
Oh my God!
Oh, it was horrible.
Oh,
it was horrible.
I can't.
It was horrible.
How long? I'm imagining you as a file clerk.
Okay, here's what it is. You've got.
I mean, you're kind of anal about organization and stuff.
I'm in high school,
yeah.
And this is a summer job. It's a good summer job because it's a government job. So they're going to pay pretty decent as far as getting a job in West Virginia is concerned. But human resources, people who would do case files, they would see families who either had, sometimes children were taken away from families, other times it was to...
They were punished and made to stay.
Continue to receive benefits of some type,
right.
Depending on what the situation is. So a caseworker would come and they would give you their sheet of the day in the morning, and there were like 15 of these caseworkers, and then you would go and you would pull all the files for all the people.
Did you ever read that stuff? You ever flip through it, man?
I mean, you could have.
Did you?
No, because it was all basically the same kind of stuff. It wasn't to the level of. It was to the level of you could see how many years certain families were living off of benefits just based on the size of their file. These are actual files I'm holding. Right. It's not inside of a computer. So some families' files, as far as being on food stamps, would go back 40, 50 years.
Right.
And they would have, not only that, but they would have 6 siblings all on food stamps at that particular point in time. So when you go to pull a case file, say for the Dalton family, right? That was a big name.
Let me guess, you're just pulling a name out of thin air.
You're looking and you're flipping through, and they're brothers, and there's a junior, and there's a junior, and you know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff in there, and you had to, and then when they were done with them, they give you all the files back, and you had to go and you had to put them all away. So I guess the one thing that I learned was everyone in my county who probably was on some type of, of assistance.
Did you ever look for your own name?
No, because,
really?
I mean...
Yeah, but you don't... Look, man, parents hide things. I hide things from my kids all the goddamn time. Trust me. I would have at least looked and been like, hey, man, it could have been like 12 years ago.
Right.
You don't know.
Yeah, well, it'd be hard to hide that just because...
What do you mean?
Like, if you have kids, like, they're going to be at the grocery store with you.
No, it's not that, man. Like, trust me, if you're a parent, you hide so much. Basically, you hide your true self from your kids, right? Mm-hmm. They just... don't need to know. But any really bad times you've been through, and I've been lucky enough I have not, but I know my parents did at some point, and if they bring it up, I might have some real vague recollection of it. But overall, I don't. But that tells me that if I were to look up, let me put it this way. When I was growing up, I knew my father to be a former Navy guy, and as such, he was my father. So when it came to making your bed, being on time, all that stuff that you'd expect from a military dad, all right? So this is what I knew to be true of him. Maybe 3 years ago, all right? So this has throughout my entire life. Until about 3 years ago, my mother's talking to me, and I'm talking about my father's Navy days, and she says, did he ever tell you why he joined the Navy? I'm like, no, because in my head, he did it, patriotic. She's like, no, man, the cops long story, he was in a car chase, all this stuff. It's not that he was found innocent, but it's kind of understood why it happened, all right? But he was given an option. You could do however long it was in jail, or you can join the military. Oh, about 3 years ago. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, look, you didn't need to know. And he's like, you're an idiot growing up, so I'm not going to tell you that about me because someone like me, that would give me leeway to get away with what I want. So my point being, having learned that lesson, if I did what you did in high school, I absolutely would have looked for a file that had my family.
Yeah.
Just to have something to hold over their head, man.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because parents set you up all the time when you come home. They already know what you've done. But they act like they don't. They set you up and they trap your ass, all right? Well, if you're a bad kid like me, so you get trapped like that. So just one time, it would have been great to have the leverage to be like, yeah, I know, but the hooker you were with in 1967, old man. Something, man. You still want to talk? Or did I get away with being drunk last night? All right. Hello, Germany. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Germany cannot possibly be a real name, right?
It's a nickname.
Okay.
All right, Germany. Let's go with this one. This is a strange one. Who has a naked picture of you?
Oh, dear Lord Jesus. The best part is my girlfriend's probably listening right now. A lot of people.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. So not just her.
A lot of people.
All right.
Is anyone happy to have this? Why would a lot of people have naked pictures of you?
I'm a little bit of a womanizer, I guess you could say. Or used to be.
Sure,
womanizer or a guy that just sends D-pics. I mean,
there's a difference.
If I send Robin a picture of my penis, I can be like, ha-ha!
Steve, the womanizer.
Swashbuckler.
The womanizer. I mean, that doesn't make him a womanizer.
Like, right.
It makes him a guy who sends his D pictures out.
of my penis. two different things, man. So you were swashbuckling for a while. How many people? I know your girlfriend might be listening. So do what she does when you ask her how many people she slept with. Just shave like 5 off this answer. But how many D-pics do you think you have out there?
D-pics? I would say maybe there's 2 or 1 still floating around on people's phones. Maybe.
Were these pictures requested by the party, or were they just sent out like junk mail? No pun intended.
No, they were requested.
All right, they're requested. Right. And now, does your girlfriend receive any of these pictures?
No.
Wait. So you've sent your D to multiple broads out there, whatever. But your girlfriend, the one that you have right now, she has not been privileged with a photograph of your penis.
Well, not with a photograph.
Okay, all right.
I think you should send her one at the end of this phone call. Say, baby, I was thinking about this. You shouldn't be alone. Here's a picture of Germany's D.
Men's Room says all my other girlfriends have it.
What? You should too.
You should too. Yeah.
I think that's only fair, man. If it makes you feel, we'll all send her a picture of our penis.
Well, she's probably going to blow up my phone now and request it.
Let me ask you a question. How many pictures do you have to take before you feel like you've got the right angle on it?
There's no way your
the
first
lighting
picture
is right. I mean, when do you feel like you've really, really captured the moment with your Johnson? And you're like, you know what? That's the one she's going to want. Do you have a better side than the other? You know, I mean, how far have you thought this through? Is there a lighting technique you use? Is this like when you're going to get a senior picture? I mean, how much time do you take in posing this thing?
Well, I mean, honest to God, I'm pretty confident. So 1, maybe 2, and I'm good.
Okay, so you don't need a fluff or anything.
No. You have a room you go into. Like, look, I'm confident about my penis, but I'm less confident about my photographic skills.
Yeah, I'm not.
And listen, a bad picture of your penis, I feel, does irreparable damage. Like,
that's true.
I don't care if my eyes were closed in the picture you took. I'm not taking it again. With my penis, I want this thing to look as good as it's ever, because you're going out on a limb.
A comb or a brush down there.
Everything, man.
I don't know what you got going on, but
I would use Grecian formula if there's any gray. I would lotion a thing. There's no dry skin. It's going to look like Mr. Olympus, man.
Maybe do a mohawk. The reason we asked who had a naked picture of you. Texas appeals court says a state law that punishes those who post intimate images from previous or current relationships online without consent is unconstitutional.
Revenge porn?
Yes. The 12th Court of Appeals in Tyler ruled that the revenge porn law violates the U.S. Constitution by restricting expression based on the content of photographs and videos that are shared. So the court basically said that the law was vague and infringed on the rights of third parties who might unwillingly share intimate images. Court also ordered a revenge porn charge to be dropped against Jordan Barlett Jones. Court records show that Jones challenged the law as unconstitutional while awaiting trial for sharing a naked photograph of a woman without consent. So I guess basically, if it's out there,
if you've sent it, it's their property.
You sent the picture, right? It's kind of like if someone leaves a recorded message on your phone and threatens you. Like if you know that you've left this message or you intentionally sent this picture. But then I wonder, all right, so Miles, you're going to take a D-pic and you're going to send it to Germany's girlfriend, right? Just so she can finally
absolutely.
Get a
so finally she gets one.
Right. But you accidentally hit, I don't know, send all. So now it shows up everywhere and someone who's on your phone list who hates your guts that you've forgotten about.
But they posted online like, hey, look what Miles sent. I can't do anything about it because I sent it to them.
So even if you sent it by accident.
Huh. So even if I send it by accident,
seems crazy.
I'm going to start hitting it.
You can just send the whole thing out to anybody you want. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow. I better get all those D-pics back I've got to send out after all those years.
Look at the cloud full of D.
Random.
I bet you there are more D-pics in the cloud than any. I mean, more than any porn industry. The cloud is nothing but penises. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the men's room.
Dragon erotica and pterodactyl porn.
All right.
Outstanding. Glad you're here. Hola.
You might be the answer to this question.
Hola.
All right, let's go with this one on your random question. Who that you know would you absolutely refuse to live with now that you've known them for a while? Just someone that you're like, you know what, maybe you've lived with them previously, or maybe they're just a friend that you know as just someone that you could not cohabitate with.
I would have to say former coworker, just because of just absolutely no hygiene. And I was over at his house one time, and I had to watch where I stepped because it was just so much clutter and trash everywhere.
Yeah.
Did you have to use this bathroom? Did they have one of those hairy toilet seats?
I would never sit down in his bathroom. Put it that way.
I think you can tell a lot about somebody based on what is in the back seat of their car.
Or how much is in the back seat of their
you know
car?
what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, man, like, look at this. Jesus Christ, man. Well, I just put it in the back seat, it goes away. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Never see it again.
Throw it in the
trunk.
I don't sit back there. The reason we asked, who do you know that you would absolutely refuse to live with? According to a recent survey, there are some pretty nice people out there. Only 6% of people said they would not be prepared to let a friend, even if they didn't like him, stay in their place.
Even if you didn't like them?
Yeah, they would let it stay with you. 9% said indefinitely, believe it or not. Most people said that they would give a friend a couch. So, yes, if you got 10 close friends or whatever, I guess apparently your friends are nicer than you think, but that's not me, so. Yeah, I'm not a part of that survey. Random question, 844-999. Ola, more of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Still a comment, return of Ask the Men's Room. If you have a question for any of us here in the Men's Room, just shoot us an email to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com and make the subject Ask the Men's Room. Ask the Men's Room coming up right before we drink a toast with the shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question, 844-999. Ola.
Hello, Mark. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
All right, Mark. How about this one for you? Mark, what part of your body has been through a whole lot in its lifetime?
Oh, probably my penis.
Oh, has it really?
No, not as much as I'd like.
Okay.
I think most guys say that. What about your liver, your lungs?
Broke anything?
Yeah. I mean, I guess nothing too much. I smoke cigarettes, so.
All right. How long have you smoked?
About 10 years.
Okay.
What brand do you smoke?
Newports.
Okay.
All right. Those are pretty strong cigarettes.
They are.
It's like a breath mint and a cigarette all in one.
Mm-hmm. So your lungs probably have been through a lot then.
Yeah, they have. I've smoked some other stuff as well.
Okay. All right.
I've dabbled in some weed and stuff. I may have. I think I had the same thing happen that I heard you say, Miles. I accidentally smoked crack at a party one time.
Yeah. Oh no.
But what was your situation? Miles said it was the fact the guy said you want to smoke a bowl. Fair enough. How did you accidentally smoke crack?
It was the same thing. We were at a campsite, and we were in the car. We were just drinking with the campsite next to us, and they just passed me a pipe, and I smoked it, and I was just like, "Oh no, that is not what I thought it was."
When you exhaled, did you go?
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's probably what that was.
My head was ringing. I was just like, "Oh my god, no!" And then I explained. Just like you said, I heard you say one time, I explained to 10 people in less than a minute what happened.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Full dissertations.
Well, I think you want people to keep your eye on you, too. It just seems like, man, as a general rule, right, if you have a pipe and you just hand it to someone,
I'm going to just assume it's weed.
The assumptions that if it's not weed, tell people, especially if it's crack. No one just passes crack around, man.
No. The reason we asked what part of your body has been through a lot. Here is the subject. Whole again, a vet maimed by an IED receives a transplanted penis. The patient chose not to be identified because of the stigma associated with genital injury. However, in a 14-hour operation, a military veteran whose genitals were blown off by a bomb received an extraordinary transplant, a penis, a scrotum, and a portion of the abdominal wall taken from a deceased organ donor. The surgery was performed last month at Hopkins Hospital and was the most complex and extensive penis transplant to date and the first performed on a combat veteran maimed by a blast. There have been 2 other successful penis transplants. They've been performed, one in South Africa in 2010 and one at the Massachusetts General Hospital in 2016. But they involved only the organ itself, not the scrotum or the surrounding flesh. Now, this operation transplanted a single piece of tissue that measured 10 inches by 11 inches and weighed 4 or 5 pounds.
Okay.
Now, this, as they call it, evolving branch of medicine spurred in large part by the wounds of war, particularly the blasts from improvised explosive devices, combined the medical teams in Baltimore and Boston, and they've spent years preparing for this surgery, practicing on cadavers, and refining the way they do the surgery. Now, the patient at Hopkins is just one of many soldiers, obviously, who have been through something like this, from stepping on a hidden bomb or whatever. This guy in particular lost both legs above the knee. But the genital damage was even more devastating to him as a person. He said, quote, that injury, I felt like it banished me from a relationship. He said, it's like, that's it. You're done. You're by yourself for the rest of your life. I struggled with even viewing myself as a man for a long time. But now, 4 weeks after the surgery, he said, I feel like a whole man again. He asked that the name of his name not be published because of the stigma, except for his immediate family and a few close friends. He has told no one about the nature of his wounds. He says, quotes, we're hopeful we can restore sexual function in terms of spontaneous erection and orgasm eventually. The doctor
That's
did
what
say,
he's thinking.
Yeah. Listen how crazy this is.
That's exactly what he's thinking.
Although the scrotum was transplanted, all right, the donor's testicles had been removed for ethical reasons. Keeping them might enable the recipient to father children that belong genetically to the organ donor, something that might not be acceptable by medical guidelines.
That is such a weird thing.
Yes, but believe it or not, the donor was from another state. 3 doctors flew from all around the world to take the penis off of the donor, then fly it to Baltimore and attach it to this guy. 4 weeks later, so far, so good. Random question, 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.